This is Judge Joe Brown, and we're listening to We All Be News. News-free Dixie for the 21st century.
All right, did y'all enjoy that? All right. That wasn't too long, was it?
No, that's right.
Good. Now y'all can get the DVD of this out there and share that with your friends and family and your co-workers and all that good stuff. We're gonna do a quick Q&A, not too long because I know it's late and a lot of people still have to go to work and all that. So we'll take a few questions from the family tonight. Excuse me, sister. So who wants to ask the first question about the film or just anything in general?
Tariq.
What we got?
Bro.
Brother right there.
Shot, man.
How you doing, sir?
Mac, I need a, oh, the film was phenomenal.
Thank you, sir.
But I need a Mac's package.
We're going to have some stuff on the Tariq Radio website. Let me take a picture of y'all. Y'all look beautiful in here tonight, man. Y'all look absolutely beautiful. I got to show people that there are intelligent, smart, conscious black folks who will come out and support projects like this. Hollywood has this thing where they don't want to fund movies like this because they act like we won't support it, but the success of this film has proven that is a lie. And I'm so proud of all of you and all of us for making this a movement, and we need to continue that. There's a reason why they keep pushing roots on us. You got it? Yeah. This movie has been #1 for a month. The mainstream media, they do not acknowledge that, which we don't need them to. But they keep pushing the roots thing and the slave thing on us. And they got more slave movies coming out. And the reason why I wanted to make movies like this is to show our history outside of slavery, because we have such a vast history that is not reduced to just slavery. So let me get some more questions. Brother right here.
All right. Well, Edmund Lee. I'm originally from Detroit. My question to you is, I'm with a group of black investors. Our mission is to eradicate financial poverty in the financial community, and we represent 7, 8, 9 figures, including mentors from Dubai. And we want to know, how can we help you out in any way? And how can people that don't have a lot of income help you out as well with this movement?
Well, a lot of people, what we did, to help fund this movie, we had the Kickstarter page. Okay. And that's the thing, I wanted to do it that way to show that we don't have to depend on 1 or 2 people with resources. We as a community can get together and just throw $1 here, $10 there, $20 here, and we can create stuff like this. Right. And we do need more investment groups like what you guys have going on, especially with all the businesses that's going on out there in Dubai and overseas. I just left Europe. I was over in Birmingham, England. A large turnout. The brothers and sisters over there, they're ready to do business with us. Brothers in South Africa, they're dying for us to come over there and do business with them. So we're told as black people that, well, Africans don't like you because that's a huge lie. There's African people around the world that's ready for us to come over there and embrace them and do business with them, and we have to start thinking globally. So I would like for you to give me your card so I can chop up game with you, and also other people who are about business. If you see this brother, get his card and talk to him about doing some investment and what you can do to work with him locally, because he's here. All right, let's get a couple of more people just right here.
All right. Derek, I'm an educated, born and raised here in Memphis. And the question I have, I've been watching Hidden Colors since I caught game in the barbershop since Hidden Colors 1. I got all 3 of them, about to buy the 4th.
No bootleg, all right?
Oh no, they all from the website.
Y'all say barbershops.
No.
Hidden Colors is written in crayon.
No. Straight from the website. I Googled to find the website. All right, so my question is, because I'm an educator and I show these to my students every year continuously,
good.
Is there a curriculum being built around these? Because now you have such a large body of information, a curriculum could be built to teach from just the DVD.
My sister was just saying it. We were just talking about that because we have so many volumes of this. We are thinking about doing a whole big book about the whole series and just talk about certain things in the book and give all the details. Brother Kaba, who's in this, he has a study guide that he emails people for free. Okay. Also, Anthony Browder, who's in this. they did a study guide book for Hidden Colors 2. It's a book called Hidden Truths. And it's a reference guide to everything that's in Hidden Colors 2. So what I do want to do is compile all of the information and put it in book form so that everybody can see the references. So we're on the same page. We're definitely going to do that in the future. All right? What we got up here? Brother right here. What's up, sir? You brother right there with the Miami Vice jacket. I'm messing with you, brother. Go ahead. I talked to you in the bathroom. I remember you earlier. I got you. Brother, you got a book? Hold on now. We ain't got that kind of time, brother. No book. You done wrote down some stuff.
Bear with me, please. All right, man. So we got a lot of ghettos here in Memphis, man. North Memphis and South Memphis. And of course, crime is associated with that.
Mm-hmm.
So you got a lot of people here in Memphis that, you know, they think that we should forget about those people and move forward. And my question is, I'm battling with that. Should I forget about the ghetto community too? And
of course not. Of course not.
And stop feeling sorry for ghetto people, even though they didn't ask me born in those conditions, right?
No, you're not bad just because you live in a certain area. That doesn't have anything to do with your mentality, your character, your heart. Again, the ghettos are created by the white supremacists. And a lot of people who live in economically deprived areas, they want to work, they want to do the right thing just like everybody else. So we got to stop looking at people in economically deprived areas like they're other than us. See, that Bill Cosby made that mistake, didn't he? Yeah. And he was talking that, well, those people don't pull their pants up. And they accused him for not pulling his pants up. He got his wake-up call. So I don't do that. We're all in the same boat under the system of white supremacy. As Neely Fuller said, we're all in the bottom of a slave ship. All slaves and prisoners are equal. And we have to look at it like that. Let's see who else we got. Brother right here, how you doing?
How you doing, brother?
You ain't been filming the movie.
No, I haven't not. No, sir. I have not been filming the movie. No, sir. I met you actually in Ferguson a couple years ago. We all gave you a plaque. Brother Ron.
Yeah. I remember you.
Yeah.
You do those interviews with GREgory. All the time.
Yes, sir.
But GREgory be going off on you.
I would have actually.
He went off on me one time. We were filming him in Hidden Colors. Three?
Yeah.
He went off on me.
That was the first and the last time, right?
Yeah. That's just how we do it. So.
Yes, sir. I want to ask you about this because you've been really on top of this about telling our story. I'm really concerned about the recent thing with Muhammad Ali, how they controlled the narrative at the funeral, and also with the OJ thing. What's this revisionism with OJ? I want to get your thoughts about that.
Yeah, with Ali, it's very interesting. The first thing they said when our brother Ali died, they start talking about, well, Ali transcended race and religion. Like, no, he didn't. Ali was all about uplifting the race, and he was all about his religion. And the people in the dominant society, what's interesting, they didn't like Ali when he was on top. They did everything they could to sabotage our brother and try to get a great white hope against him. And also, y'all got to stop falling for this game they're doing with the OJ thing, by the way. Mm-hmm. Because what they're doing, they're trying to brainwash a new generation about this OJ situation. Because this is 20 years later, so a lot of the younger people don't know the ins and outs of that case. So they're trying to project this OJ did it thing, because the OJ did it industry is the big money making industry. Mm-hmm. Now when you look at that case, because I've studied this case extensively, I've studied this case for 20 years, OJ didn't do those crimes. I don't care how many times they keep saying he did it. Let's look at common sense for a second. Number one, I want y'all to name me a rich black person who has committed murder ever in America. Name one. I ain't talking about famous. Somebody might say, well, Snoop Dogg.
Jacob Hoover?
Because of the case that Snoop had in '93, but Snoop didn't commit the murder. It was the bodyguard McKinley who did it. And Snoop wasn't even rich at the time.
Well, Jacob Hoover.
Yeah. Somebody might say Ray Lewis.
Okay, Ray Caruth. Yeah, Ray Caruth.
Ray Caruth didn't do the crime, though. Somebody else did it.
Yeah.
Okay? Ray Lewis, they got him on all-in charge.
Yeah.
See, that racist all-in charge, how they do us. If somebody commits a crime, they'll charge everybody with the same crime. So black folks who are rich, the last thing they're going to do is go out and commit a murder, especially with a damn knife, at 9:30 with a mask, not even a mask, but a skull cap on, for what? Some gloves that don't fit, and a sweatsuit and some Bruno Magli shoes with a sweatsuit on. And a racist cop is the one who found all the evidence. And this guy, Mark Furman, they They downplay everything that he has done. This man has said on tape that he sets black people up. He don't like interracial couples. He wants to burn and kill all black people, and they just try to forget about all that. Another thing they don't tell you about that OJ case, you notice they never go into the Nicole Brown Simpson background. They never tell you about her. Why do you think they never put none of her friends and associates on that stand? Everybody she was around was a criminal. She was messing with the dude from the Mezzaluna restaurant, and Ron Goldman worked there. Do y'all know there are 3 other people at the Mezzaluna restaurant that was killed? Michael Nigg, exactly. Some of their other friends were killed. This woman was around nothing but drug dealers. Nicole Brown Simpson's sister, Denise, was dating a mafia hitman who's in witness protection. They don't tell y'all none of that. Research that. Because the OJ did it industry, that's where the money is. They've been milking that for 20 years. That's why the Kardashians are famous now. They've been milking that thing. So they're just trying to brainwash black folks into going along with it. That new special that they had on ESPN, the whole narrative was like, well, OJ wasn't really black, so y'all shouldn't support him. So now ESPN is saying this. ESPN has the biggest coon on the planet on ESPN, Stephen A. Smith. So now they're trying to tell us who's black and who's not black. So we got to stop going for the okie doke and letting them try to give us a narrative. All right? Let's get a few more questions. Where the sisters at? Where y'all sisters at? I don't want to hear from the Memphis sisters out here. Where y'all at?
There she go.
Hey, there you go, love. How are you? I'm good.
I have a comment.
Yes,
I
ma'am.
just wanted to give you accolades for how you live by example. For example, your relationship with your wife.
Yes.
It's not, everybody don't know y'all business. You have social media everywhere, but you keep it personal, but you let us know, this is what it is. And I appreciate that because we put too much of our business out there.
Yes.
And we don't keep anything personal anymore. Everybody want everybody to like them, so you tell all your business. So I just want to give you accolades for doing what you do the way you do, and I appreciate it.
Thank you so much. And yeah, I'm not into the attention business. That's the thing. We get caught up in just being seen and getting on Instagram and popping and twerking and just doing whatever. And the thing is, we do that, let's build something. Then we can pop and twerk till you blue in the face. Brother right here, how are you? Young dude, how old are you, brother?
16.
16. I love to see my young people out like that. Give it up for my young folks. What's on your mind, brother?
I just wanted to say I thank you for coming out here and spreading the word to all us. Me and my family, we drove to, from Little Rock, Arkansas to come see you.
Man, I appreciate that. How far is Little Rock from here? 2 hours. 2 hours? Well, damn, I'll give you a little gas money. I wouldn't drive 2 hours to me. But I appreciate you, brother, man. I appreciate that, man. And movies like this, share them with your friends, man. Put your friends up on that game. And if they give you a little pushback or a little resistance, don't trip. It's like when you try to wake people up, people don't want to be woken up when they're not ready.
Right. Watch The Matrix.
So when they start asking questions, that's when you step in with it. But don't try to force it on nobody. Because look, when you sleep and somebody try to wake you up, you're ready to start fighting. You ain't ready. So just give the game to the ones who are already inquiring about the information, and they'll be more receptive to it. Let's go. Up there on the very top.
Well, I had a question about history in school. I have a 6-year-old son, and I don't like his school, white people teaching him history that they have left out. So he's kind of confused on when he come home and I'm teaching him things. Well, he's not here today because he's out of town today. But if he was here, he would be here. We've watched Hidden Colors 1, 2, and 3 all together. And he missed this one, but I don't allow him to remember the things that white teachers teach him in black history because they leave out so much.
Yes. So, I have a 16-year-old daughter, and I have the same issue with her. So what you do, I tell my daughter this. I say, look, listen to what they teach you, but also listen to what they don't teach you. And that's where we have to fill in the blank, because in the system of white supremacy, if they do teach you something, usually if it's about yourself or African culture, it's going to be a half-truth. Or it's going to be a situation where they put themselves, the white people are going to put themselves in a savior position. Because my daughter came home one day, she was telling me about the history teacher was teaching them about slavery, and they taught them about a bunch of white abolitionists who fought hard to help get black people free. And that's a half-truth, because there's so many black abolitionists, Frederick Douglass, I mean, the list goes on. But also what they don't tell you, the white abolitionists, when black people were free, when black people went up to the north, the white abolitionists turned their backs on a lot of black people. They didn't treat them equally. So I don't give them pats on the back for effort. Because the thing is, when black people were a concept that was far away, when they were a political concept, that was fine. But when you had black people in the faces of these people, they're like, I don't want you to be equal now. So we need to tell the whole truth so that we don't buy into the white saviorism thing. So do what the Japanese did. The Japanese, after World War II, when the Japanese were in the internment camps, they started to teach their children about American culture, but they also taught them Japanese culture, Japanese pride. And the Japanese, they're running stuff right now. They're running the game right now. Just like after, when the Japanese were put in internment camps, they got out the camps and said, okay, we need reparations for being put in these camps here in America. And the US government said, well, you know, stuff happens. So the Japanese said, okay, we're going to build our economy. We're going to get all of your electronic products. We're going to reverse engineer them, build them back up, learn the game. Then they started to build up corporations like Sony. And Sony was buying out everybody. And then the Japanese came back to the United States in the 1980s and said, hey, let's talk about those reparations. Then the US started writing checks for Japanese Americans. So when you understand the game and understand your history, that's when you will thrive. You got to use a position of power to step to the people who you are looking at as your dominators. Brother right there in the white shirt.
Yes, sir. My question is this. In Memphis, we know that blacks represent roughly about 67 to 70% of our population. But yet we still refer to ourselves as a minority.
Yeah.
And we're here, you know, getting enlightened and learning about our history. So my main question is this. What is still provoking us to drive past black-owned businesses and still go try to find the Cheesecake Factory? But what is provoking us to keep our money in our pocket as much as we can, but then go force a white business? Like, you literally know these people don't want you there. They playing the wrong type of music. They turning the lights up or turning the lights down or damn near turning them off. But we would sit there and say, you gonna take my money versus do business with your own.
Yes. And you know what? Let me show you what else I've seen. I've been in Memphis for about 6 hours. And what I've noticed already, I ain't about to go in on y'all South. I always think I'm about to go in. I went in on South Carolina the other day, but I ain't about to go in on y'all. But one thing I noticed, I've only been here for 6 hours, I noticed that there's a lot of white-owned businesses with a lot of white people in the front, especially food places, and all the black people in the damn back. Yeah, I noticed that in a lot of spots. Because I went to a restaurant early and I ordered food and all the white people in the front and smiling and giggling. Then I went to the restroom. It would look like this in the back. I'm like, well, we got to stop that. We got to stop using our skills and our culinary skills and our cooking skills to enrich these white companies. Man, get you a food truck, I park that somewhere outside the club. There's so many opportunities. We got so much talent, we just give it to the people in the dominant society to be exploited. We got to get off that.
But what you get that food truck out?
Yes.
It's a black food truck, but the black people driving past it to go to the Cheesecake Factory. I understand some people have taken their money and invested and opened up businesses, and they're closing. They can't stay open.
Right, and I get that because there are a lot of black people who still think that the white ice is colder. Right. Unfortunately. You know, with the hidden colors, with this, there are rumors that they're putting out talking about this was secretly funded by some damn Jews. Because it's a hot film and they just don't want to accept that black folks, it's 100% black controlled, black produced. They gotta slip some white people in there. It's the Illuminati funded it. See, that's that slave thing where you don't believe in yourself. So we don't have to worry about them. We need to get around like-minded people who don't mind being around and supporting black projects. This is why we're doing this. Look around the room. This is why we're doing something like this. Because it's all about finding the right crowd, not everybody. You're not going to get everybody on board. It's all about finding the right people who's down. Just like my man Layla Africa said in the movie, you just need a few good men, a few good women, and that's all you need. I call it the 300. Just like that movie 300. It took 300 people to defend the nation and defeat a mighty army. 300 people on the same page is better than 10,000 people who are just all over the place. All right, let's get a couple more questions. Brother right here.
I have a quick question for you. I'd like to introduce myself. I'm a black business owner. I work for black business. And I'm pro-black, and that's why I'm here. And to, like you said, the fellowship with other people, like-minded people like myself. And I'm a barber by profession, but I do have my own graphic design company. So when I do t-shirts and things, right? But one of the things the movie pointed out is that if a brother speaks out, educated brother speaks out, you get so much flack. And me as a barber, being pro-black, on a daily basis, when I speak about uplifting us as a people, I get so much why we shouldn't do what we do or defend ourselves. And I just want to know, as a barber and as a public voice, really what barbers we are, what can I take back tonight to the barbershop and be your suggestion to maybe try to open the minds up, not even the older guys, the younger guys that are coming up.
Yes,
those are the ones for the future. So as a barber and a voice, what can I take back to my people and give to them?
What you do, some of the lessons from the film, let them know the importance of you and them, because other barbers, you independent contractors. So let them know the importance of being independent, working with other black people as a community, and let them know on a just straight up man-to-man level how important it is for y'all to build in your communities. And also not just create an economic base, but use that to create a political base, because that's another thing. We need to start getting more political clout in many of these cities so that we can go to our politicians and get more resources allocated to the black business districts, because a lot of times we don't get the proper funding, so we can't present our businesses the way we need to present them. So we need to start getting some of those resources allocated towards black businesses so that we can advertise properly, put it out there to the public correctly, and get other people on board. So yeah, that's something, it's going to take a little work, but it's something that we can do. Brother right here.
Hey, Tariq, thank you for bringing Hidden Colors to Memphis.
Yes, sir.
I am the co-founder of a black crowdfunding website. There's people in here that know about it, and I wanted to get it to you because I'll film toward the end about economic, all of that stuff. I believe that can really help push it forward, because I'm not out to try to make money on it. We have the lowest rates compared to Kickstarter, GoFundMe, and all those other sites.
Okay.
So I think that if we could get this thing going, we can really put money back into the community. We're tied back into Tri-State Bank, Black Bank here in Memphis. So all our profits go back into the black community, circulates, keep the money in the community. So.
What's the name of the website?
Urban Funding.
Urban Funding, okay. And the thing is, also, when you start up a business, you got to be very transparent, because people, they have a hard time trusting new people that they don't know their background. So you have to go out in the community and show people who you are, show your face, show the kind of work you've done, and that way you can let people gain to trust you. That's very important, because I get a lot of guys who hit me up and they're like, Tariq, man, I got this new website, I got a new business, promote it for me. And I'm like, I don't know you. The community doesn't know you. And when people don't really know you, they're going to be a little skeptical in investing. So it's very important to get out here and pound the pavement, shake hands, hug babies, that whole thing, so people can get to know who you are, and then that can garner trust and respectability for you.
You're right about that. My man up here and here, you're right about that too, because folks don't know Kickstarter, they don't know GoFundMe, they don't know who these people are. They just freely go in there and just jump on it, I think, because it's white. They think it's all, they just automatically give it that pass.
Yeah, but again, with Kickstarter, it was a little, because they were around a while before they kind of took off. So they were around a little bit, and they had political connections and all that, and then that bigger project started to become associated with them, and that's how their name got out. So we just have to get our names out, get our brand out, and again, you do that. We have to do it as black people more on a grassroots level, and there's nothing wrong with that. All right, let me see who we got. Brother over there.
What information can you share about claiming your Moorish nationality?
The Moorish, we're going to have to leave that alone. Let me tell you why. Because I hear a lot of guys say, hey man, I want to claim more, I want to claim nationality, I want to claim status. Let me break that down. They usually will refer to a text or a judgment called the Sundry Free Moors Act from 1790. A lot of guys will go and reference that and say, hey, look at this. There were some African people in America who said that they were not Negro, they said they were Moors, and then they went to the Virginia legislature and then they got their status to be equal as whites. The thing is, remember, in 1790, Morocco was a superpower. Morocco was the first country that acknowledged the United States. The first treaty the United States have is a treaty with Morocco. They actually had to get permission from Morocco because Morocco was controlling the trade routes up there in the Mediterranean. They couldn't bring anything from Europe over here without going through the Moroccans because they controlled that area. So they were a superpower at the time. So they could militarily back up the treaty. So if a person claimed more over here and they were mistreated, they couldn't go back up there to Morocco and the Mediterranean. They would get blasted on because they could back it up. So now we don't have that no more. So we can claim anything, but we can't back up the treaty. So the white supremacists, they understand guns. They understand guns and force. So going in there with a fez and a hat and a turban and a piece of paper, doing hand signals and whatever. They don't care about that. They'll laugh you out of court. That's a joke to them because they know you cannot back up that treaty. You got to have military. That's what we talked about in this film. The importance of having a military. All right, let me see. Let's get two more. Let's get two more. These better be good. Sister in the peach shirt.
Yes, I had noticed that there was a rise in DNA testing of African ancestry, Ancestry.com, 23andMe, whatever. Do you have any thoughts on that as far as people, especially people of color, finding out heritage through these sites? Like, I'm kind of suspicious of them because I don't know what they're doing, with DNA.
Right. A lot of these DNA testing sites are popping up because the white supremacists, they know that their numbers are dwindling. So they're starting to look into DNA and trying to figure out ways to kind of maintain themselves. So this is what I think a lot of this DNA is about. Them coming up with ways to sustain themselves. Because you do see a lot of the DNA testing that's out there a lot. And this is why you have a lot of these people in the dominant society laying up with indigenous women around the world too, trying to maintain their seed. There was a case in New York recently where this white dude up here impregnating black women all over the place up there. He's a white doctor, and basically what he's doing, he's getting third world women coming from like Haiti and the Caribbean and certain parts of Africa and having sex with them in bathrooms so that they can get pregnant. And they need that to have anchor babies, but he's just kind of spreading his seed. And I see that in other countries. I went to Samoa. I saw a white dude over there who had a whole bunch of Samoan women, had kids with a whole bunch of Samoan women. So that's one of their things. They're going around to these indigenous lands, spreading their seed, because genetically, you have a will to continue and to survive. And over here, they're telling people in the dominant society, you're becoming a minority. You're going to be a minority within like 40, 50 years. So they're getting into all of this DNA stuff, and we have to look closely and see what they're trying to do. Sister right here.
My name is Future. I'm with Nappy by Nature. I'm sorry, I had to shout out.
Hey,
we are big in the community, and I just wanted to ask, what are we going to do about the police killings of our children in our community? My cousin, one of my cousins was the first young man to get killed back in 2012. By a police execution. They said that he was out stealing tires, and I know that's not worth him losing his life, but his car was gunned down, and we have a lot of black police officers as well as white police officers in the city of Memphis that really do very big unjust on our children as well as our black males in our community, and something needs to be done about it immediately.
Yes,
So
let me
we need
address
to
that.
address that right
Yes,
away.
ma'am. Very good question. Let's go back into the 1920s and 30s with the Italian Mafia. The Italian Mafia was a minority because Italians weren't considered white at the time. A lot of folks don't know that. The Italians were not considered white. They actually lynched a lot of Italians. But what the Italians did, they said, okay, what are we going to do? Can we wage outright war? We can't do that. But let's use our economic base. Let's get a code of conduct And we're going to use our code of conduct to build an economic base. So what the Italians did, they used organized crime, and the word is organized. They organized their crime, and then they used the proceeds from the organized crime to buy off the politicians and put politicians in their back pocket. You notice J. Edgar Hoover never even acknowledged the existence of the mafia. Never even acknowledged they existed because they had J. Edgar Hoover in their pocket. They had presidents in their back pocket. That's how they knew how to use their money. And that's something that a lot of us, we don't do. We get into the crime game or any kind of thing. One thing we do not do, we have not done in a while as black people, we don't know how to put these politicians in our pocket. Money will talk. Once you get an economic base, we can use that economic base to get politicians into office and to do our bidding. Right now, they're not going to do our bidding because they do the bidding of corporations. So if we got an economic base and said, okay, look, if this police chief let another black person get shot, your career is done because we're going to use our money to get you out of office. You're done. Prosecutors, you're done if you let this person get killed. Let's look at Peter Liang up there in New York. The Asian community did just what I'm saying right now. With that black prosecutor, what's his name? His name always escaped me. Peter Thompson, you know, because coons are just, you know. Yeah, coons are nameless to me. They're all one to me. But Thompson, Ken Thompson, they had him in their back pocket. Ken Thompson prosecuted Peter Liang. The guy was found guilty. The Asian community used their money to say, hey, you better do what we told you to do. He went out there and said, well, this guy shouldn't get no jail time. The guy, Peter Liang, is walking right now. After the guilty charge. That's why they used their money. They didn't huff, they didn't march, they didn't protest. They got an economic base and said, okay, I will ruin you and your career with our money as a group if you don't do what we say. We're going to have to start doing that as a group. See, with black folks, we let the white supremacists get us all mixed up in other stuff. When we talk about black issues, then we'll have other black people over here talking about, well, what about lesbian and trans and gay issues? See, we start doing that stuff. We got to stop falling for that trick. We're all black people, melanated people, under the same roof, under the same problem, which is white supremacy. Thank you very much, y'all. That's it for tonight. We got some DVDs out there in the front. We got some shirts out there in the front. Give yourselves a round of applause, family. Thank you so much for coming out.